What is up? I'm Brennan Dessler, and on today's episode of Future Watch, we're going to be going over this year's Swedish sensation, Jonathan Lekkerimaki. Let's get into it. Jonathan Lekkerimaki is a right wing playing for Djurgården of the Swedish Elite League. Born on July 24th, 2004, the 5'11", 172-pound sniper is one of the youngest players eligible for the 2022 NHL Draft. Djurgården has done an incredible job developing prospects as of late, with players like William Eklund, Alexander Holtz, and Mika Zibanejad coming up through their system. While the team was relegated from the Swedish Elite League this season for their performance, there's no denying that they can develop talent. All right, so taking a bit of a deeper dive into Jonathan Lekkerimaki's InStat page, we're going to see that he had some really good production at the J20 level with the Djurgårdens this year, so 20 goals in 26 games. Also 15 assists, though, which is really good to see, because when you look at his younger years, it seems like this guy can definitely score goals, but the assist totals kind of weren't there to go with it. So 16 goals, 4 assists in that Div 1 U16 league when he was younger, and then in the J18, 12 goals, 4 assists in 8 games, just absolutely torching it. And then again this year, so 20 goals, but the 15 assists, and then 7 goals and 2 assists at the SHL level. So obviously you love to see that kind of production. The U18 tournament, some incredible numbers. So put up 15 points, in 6 games at the U18s for Sweden. So that's just an absolutely incredible tournament. He actually led the tournament in scoring. Now, it came out after the fact that he actually had mono and wasn't fully recovered for this tournament and still put up those points. So that's absolutely incredible, given that there's a lot of players that just can't play or take forever to kind of recover from mono, and it really impacts their performance. So to see that from this guy kind of a few months out before the draft, for a guy who does have a younger birthday, it's really assuring. So you do love to see that. So we'll take a look at those stats kind of in reference to the last 20 years of draft eligible players. So first looking at the World Junior U18 tournament that we said that he led this year. So we see that Lekkerimaki finished is 12th over the last 20 years in that tournament by points per game. So absolutely incredible production. Obviously not going to say that he's better than Alexander Ovechkin at 17 years old or Austin Matthews at 17 years old. But still, like, absolutely incredible to be ahead of guys like that in Ovi, kind of Matthews, Tarasenko, some really big names. And one thing I will say about that tournament, and even kind of the J20 level as a whole, so Lekkerimaki does play on Djurgården, and he plays with Liam Ogren and Noah Ostlund, who are two really, really talented forwards. So the three of them play on a line together, and their chemistry is phenomenal. And they played on that line together when they played at that U20 tournament. And I think obviously, clearly it translated to success, specifically for Lekkerimaki, who had that kind of insane production. So you can see that with that J20 team and the production over the last, again, 20 years in that league. Lekkerimaki's numbers aren't, they kind of don't jump off as too crazy, but 18th over the last 20 years by point per games in that league is still pretty significant. And he's definitely like ahead of some other guys, some notable players, and Joel Eriksson, Silverberg, these guys also in their draft years that he was ahead of. So definitely some solid production there to look at. And then the last thing we'll look at is his production at the SHL level by a points per game basis. So he played 26 games. So he played a decent amount. Now, I mentioned that he played for Djurgårdens, and I mentioned that Djurgårdens was on, they ended up getting relegated this year. So Lekkerimaki's playing time really got impacted by that, because they really didn't have time for prospect development. They really had to focus on just trying to win every game, so they didn't end up in the lower tier league, which unfortunately they did. And while they have had some amazing prospects kind of come out of that program as of late, like I said, with Eklund and Holtz, I don't know if he had quite as much of an opportunity to develop, kind of based on the situation that they were in this year. So again, regardless of that, still had 7 goals in 26 games. Now you look at guys like Holtz, who had 9 and 35 and was regarded as the top sniper in his class, arguably. It's pretty impressive production, I would say, regardless in this man's league. And he's still ahead of guys, draft eligible players in their years, like Mika Zibanejad. Lucas Raymond is one that's really notable to me. And then you have like William Nylander. There's a whole bunch that he's still ahead of with production, even given those circumstances. So I think that there's actually quite a bit to like in terms of production here. Jonathan Lekkerimaki is a shooter. I want to see how this shooter shoots. So taking a look at his InStat page, we're able to get a really in-depth analysis of a map of where he scores his goals from and where he's able to take high percentage shots from. So taking a look at this, we can see that he scores goals from just about everywhere. He does love this circle. I know for a fact that he loves unleashing one-timer kind of up in there, but scores a lot of goals up in front of the net, which I love to see. That's super translatable at the NHL level. Scores a lot of goals in tight, generates a lot of quality chances from just about anywhere. So looking at it from the left and the right-hand side, he's effective on both sides. So 56.5% is a bit low from his standards, but still fairly high from standards overall. And then 66.7% on the right-hand side, which is phenomenal. So definitely love to see that. It definitely shows that he has very good shot selection. Scores a lot of goals in tight, 87% of high danger shots when he's taking shots in that zone. So you really like to see that percentage of shots kind of getting through and being high danger, and then able to generate from the slot and even out behind as well, which it kind of just, I guess, speaks to the power and accuracy of his shot more than anything. Evaluating the strongest part of Lekkerimaki's game, it's pretty apparent that his shot and overall goal scoring ability is his bread and butter. Not only does Lekkerimaki possess an elite release, which allows him to generate a phenomenal amount of power without compromising any accuracy whatsoever, Lekkerimaki's offensive awareness and overall vision for the game enables him to constantly find open ice to skate into, as well as process the lanes to the net, where he will be able to get a high danger scoring opportunity through. Lekkerimaki is often selective with his shot, which is an incredible feat to see from a 17-year-old sniper, as goal scorers tend to shoot the puck as often as they can. Since Lekkerimaki chooses to be selective, it gives him the advantage of making a decision when and where to shoot the puck from, instead of instinctively shooting the puck immediately when he receives it from his current position on the ice. While Lekkerimaki's one-timer is likely the best in the entire draft class, his wrist and snapshot also put him in an elite tier. Hell, he can even generate power and accuracy on the backhand, which is a difficult feat for players already in the NHL.
Aggressiva på Nilsson där som försöker frysa pucken längs sargen men blir av med den. Här finns ytor, Lekkerimaki och returen. Ja! Djurgården leder, Jonathan Lekkerimaki.
Sörensen, Eklund. Här är Lekkerimaki och Djurgården kvitterar. Jonathan Lekkerimaki gör 1-1.
While Lekkerimaki might be a sniper, he's first and foremost a goal scorer. I love that he's always looking to get to high danger scoring opportunities, especially when the puck is in and around the net. He's also relentless once he gets there, making sure he's doing everything he can to bang it home. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how this was an offside, but then again, neither was Cale Makar's in the Stanley Cup playoffs, so I guess we let things go. One thing I do love about Lekkerimaki as well regarding his goal scoring ability is that he does have fairly soft hands and he's able to utilize them while using his speed. I do think that he has some of the better top end speed by snipers in this draft class, and I really like his combination of hands to complement that, as well as the way that he's able to kind of go through with his entire vision when making plays.
Juniorkedjan med Lekkerimaki, Noah Östlund och Liam Ögren. Samtidigt som det är reducerat för Djurgården. 5 sekunder in i...
Rensfeldt. Lekkerimaki i mål! Han gör mål! Lekkerimaki! Och det är...
How insane is this release? I think that this is a set play, but I love his vision. He goes in and knows exactly where he's going to shoot it, and he knows according to play. Not only does Lekkerimaki do an elite job of identifying lanes where pucks will get through the net, but he also does an incredible job of knowing exactly where to shoot that puck and beat the goalie clean. To be able to get this through on net and beat the goalie from this distance in the way that he did in that corner, he's an elite goal scorer. This is insane. Guy completely loses his balance and then still just unleashes that cannon short side.
Juniorkedjan med Lekkerimaki, Noah Östlund och Liam Ögren. Samtidigt som det är reducerat för Djurgården. 5 sekunder in i...
Rensfeldt. Lekkerimaki i mål! Han gör mål! Lekkerimaki!
Absolutely love the way that he walks the line here. He reminds me of a Swedish defenseman named Erik Karlsson. Alright, now that was a lot of goals. I'm never going to apologize for showing you a lot of goals though, because, well, they're fun to watch. Now let's get into the next part of Lekkerimaki's game that I absolutely love, and I think it was kind of already highlighted in his goal scoring ability, and that's his skating ability. I think he's a really, really strong skater, and I want to highlight that. Something that I spoke to earlier is that Lekkerimaki is capable of maintaining his speed while stick handling and executing plays that lead to goals. This is something that seriously stands out to me. To be able to execute the plays that he does without needing to slow the play down is extremely transitional at the next level. Not only does Lekkerimaki have the speed to separate himself from players his age, as well as players in the Swedish Elite League at times, but he's very effective at identifying open areas of the ice where he can get to, which will result in a high scoring chance. He never skates without purpose, and having this calculated approach speaks to his elite hockey sense as well. While Lekkerimaki may need to improve his strength, he is a very strong skater and he's strong on his feet. I really like his balance and I like his ability to protect the puck using his skating. The last area of Lekkerimiki's game that I want to highlight is his strong playmaking ability. I've spoken about Lekkerimiki's elite hockey sense before, and that plays a huge role in his vision when it comes to setting up plays. It truly seems like Lekkerimaki is able to identify the way that a play will unfold before it happens. He's excellent at being aware of his surroundings and identifying his passing outlets at an extremely quick pace. Since Lekkerimaki is a goal scorer by nature, he is able to disguise passes by selling a shot first, only to set up a wide open teammate that he didn't even appear to look at. While his playmaking still needs work, as at times he's trying to make too many long or high danger passes, it is a tool he's continuing to develop and in my opinion could allow him to turn into an elite NHL forward one day.
Top-ranked power play in the tournament versus the top-ranked penalty kill. Here we go again. Backdoor pass.
Men man kan fortsätta spela anfall här i Sverige. Lekkerimaki spelar denna gång.
All in all, Jonathan Lekkerimaki profiles as an elite forward in the 2022 NHL Draft. I personally think that he has higher upside than guys like Joakim Kemell or even Cutter Gauthier. While I don't know if he will go higher than them in the draft, I do think that his combination of speed and playmaking ability combined with his elite shot really set the ceiling quite high for Jonathan Lekkerimaki. I'm really excited to see what kind of player he turns into, and I hope you are too. Thanks for tuning in.